I was in a doctor's or dentist's office in May of 1992, and I stumbled across a photograph of Vedran Smailovic, who's the cellist of Sarajevo. It was a picture of a man wearing a tuxedo, which is our fancy wear, but looking really downtrodden. You know, his beard was messy, and he'd lost weight, and he didn't look good in the tuxedo, but he was playing a cello, which is visually one of our most beautiful instruments. But he was on a street where the cobblestones were blasted up and the windows were shattered. And it's just, I could not look at that image and nothing it. You can think, there's a pretty wide spectrum of what you can think about it, but you can't nothing it. I think that we have made a mistake in contemporary society in what we think the role of the art is. We are told by all sorts of people that consumption of the arts, you know, reading a book, going to a play, looking at a painting, is an elitist activity. You do it when the important things of the day are done, if you can. You know, the phrase artsy fartsy is an example of this. Unfortunately, that I think it's a fundamental misunderstanding of what art does. We think the trappings of civilization are civilization. We think roads and bridges and buildings and stock markets, oh, that's civilization. It's not. Civilization is an agreement people have to behave a certain way towards each other. When that agreement breaks down, or even when it's not breaking down, when we're having that discussion, engaging with artistic works is one of the most primary and indestructible ways we have of discussing what the deal is that allows us to not be living in a jungle whacking each other over the head with clubs. One of the big questions the characters grapple with in the book is whether the Sarajevo they currently see is the real city, or whether the city that they remember is the real city, or whether the city they can imagine existing someday. It's a question of tense, interacting with the music, or even just the image of the music and the cellist is sort of the catalyst for the characters to have this discussion with themselves. One of the things fiction does better, I think, than any other art form is put you into someone else, right? When you're reading a book, you're inhabiting the characters if it's working. And I hope very much that the people of the people of Toronto don't go through ever what the people of Sarajevo went through. But I hope that when people are reading it, they're asking themselves the same questions. What would I do in this situation? Would I get water for an elderly neighbor? Would I shoot a man who hadn't directly done anything to me? Would I cross a road knowing I could die doing it? I think these are valuable questions to ask of ourselves, even if we're not ever really going to know the answer till the time comes to know the answer. I hope that when people read the book, they're engaged with the same questions as the character, and that they find that a worthwhile use of their time.